All right, let's talk about the humanitarian situation in Ukraine 1 year into the war. I'm joined by Matthew Stearns. He is country director for Ukraine for the International Medical Corps. He's in Kyiv, and thanks so much for being with us. We talk daily about the battlefield, but what are the most pressing humanitarian issues and needs that you're seeing right now?
Thanks so much, Michael, for taking the time today. So the needs that we're seeing now are as a result of the continuation of this intense hostilities that are happening here. We see devastated healthcare systems, massive population displacement, particularly vulnerable groups that are having difficulty accessing humanitarian services. I'm talking about elderly folks, people with disabilities, women and girls who are especially vulnerable during wartime conditions. And so we're seeing these numbers increase. The latest estimates from the UN, we're looking at about 17.6 million people in need of critical humanitarian assistance. To date,
that's a stunning number. I wanted to ask you this too. There are the physical needs that you deal with, but I know you also place a great deal of importance on the mental health aspect of civilians.
Incredibly important and acute situation here, Michael. We have a mental health and psychosocial care team that is on the ground across the country doing outreach to provide services in support of the heavy trauma and fatigue, frankly, that's going on here amongst the Ukrainian people. We are proud of the outreach that we've done. International Medical Corps has reached 15,000 people with its mental health care outreach. This is an ongoing problem. We anticipate it's going to increase as the conflict continues.
You mentioned this, and I wanted to come back to it. Your organization also focuses on gender-based violence against women and girls. How much of an issue has that been? Have you been able to make a difference with that?
So, Michael, yes, this is a very serious issue here. We take it very seriously. We have an entire team of technical specialists that deal with violence against women issues. As we've seen here, as in other conflict settings, sexual assault has been weaponized as an instrument of war, is present here in this conflict. This results in severe and acute vulnerability for women and girls in this conflict. We've got an apparatus that is attempting to address that countrywide, especially in the frontline areas where the needs are most acute. Again, we've reached 15,000 women and girls through that type of programming and that type of support.
I was reading your job biography, and it includes empowering, coaching and mentoring colleagues. And it made me maybe want to ask you about this, the efforts of local humanitarian workers and counsellors, the work they do and how you might be able to assist them, because they, of course, have themselves, many of them, suffered in this war.
Yeah, Michael, thanks for touching on that. So, number one, you raised a point about localization, and we are using a lot of local partners here, Ukrainian partners who have set up humanitarian operations. We support a number of them, both on the violence against women efforts, the interventions that we're supporting there, and then on the mental health and psychosocial care piece, especially for the providers of care. The folks that are dealing with gender-based violence interventions and the mental health care professionals, the stresses that are on them that they're absorbing as a result of the significant number of people who are in distress here relative to these topics. It's huge. So we do our best to take care of those folks in-house as well, and through our local partners.
It's so important. We're a year into this, as we said. Do you worry about a lack of empathy from the outside world, that attention might be turned away?
Michael, the generosity and support that we've seen so far from the international community here has been, frankly, humbling. I know there are competing catastrophes that we're looking at, and I want to acknowledge what the people of Turkey and Syria are going through right now as a result of the earthquake there. But I will say that there's been a continuity of support relative to the Ukraine crisis that's moving and impressive. So I hope that continues as this situation continues to unfold.
Matthew Stearns, International Medical Corps, thanks so much for the work that you and your colleagues are doing there in Ukraine. It's valuable.
Thank you so much, Michael. Happy to talk with you today.